Get it? Made a joke.
Whoa. No joking.
Hopefully you won't have to use this for Sunday. That'd be not good.
Yeah.
Alright, let me
Alright.
go ahead and do some test rolls while
Yep.
I pull up some shit.
Alright, can you actually see that?
Let me see.
Yes. Okay, good.
Brutus rolled a 48, right?
Yes.
Perfect.
Alright, then we're
Let's
set.
see.
And now I've rolled a 4. This is good.
Did I have that shit saved? Renewal of the mind document, maybe? Okay. And then, okay, yes. Hold on. Gonna set up one more thing.
Alright. Should probably actually get my...
Yeah, you do that too. Just everyone gets set up. Let's do it.
Let me generate my character sheet so I can actually look at my stats properly. Alright. Ethan, you have a weird spelling for your name.
How'd you spell it?
E-A.
Really?
T-H-A-N, yeah.
Oh, that's not how I've been spelling it.
That's fine. I literally used an identity generator for it, so doesn't make that much of a difference.
Gonna generate a name. Okay. Perfect. Okay, great. So you actually listened to the episode, right?
Yes, it did.
All right. So you know basically that you were away because of financial situations.
Rep bullshit. Yes. There was some subscribing involved there, too, if you remember right.
Yeah, I do. I fucking do. Also, did you say rip bullshit? As in RP bullshit?
No, rep, as in
Rep.
R-E-P.
Oh, I misheard, but
Yeah.
it's RP bullshit too. So yeah, you just got back. I guess should reintroduce the character, Ethan Glencross. You just got back from Armpit. You've made some rep. You're feeling pretty good. When your muse, what's your muse's name?
My muse's name is Barry.
And what's Barry's personality like?
Barry takes the form of whatever Australian animal fits his mood the best.
All right. So Barry is a nervous koala right
Oh dear.
now. He says, "Ethan, mate, we got a problem. Your mesh network. You might want to take a look."
All right, I'll bring it up.
All right. So some people are basically leaving you bad reviews. Right now, it's only making your app rep worse. Like if it was possible, it's going negative. But they haven't seemed to realize that you don't really go through those circles right
now. I was about to say, Barry, you realize that this really isn't that big of a deal.
Yeah, but they've already kind of started realizing that maybe they want to target your C rep or X rep.
Oh boy.
And then maybe your company rep.
No.
Yeah, it's they're fucking with your rep, mate. And as far as I can tell, they are all linked with Hypercorp Proactionary. So if you want to do a research roll for your muse or yourself.
Let's see. I think it might be better for me to do a networking roll, but
okay, yeah, you can network.
Yeah, all right.
Networking gate.
Let's see what happens, and that is definitely not good enough.
You got a 74. Yeah. What was that with? Gate crashing or corpse?
That was with gate crashing. Can I use hypercorps?
Yes, you can, because
for that.
They are technically a hypercorp.
And that barely passes.
Okay. Proactionary is an extropian gate crashing corp. Hypercorp.
Pigs did it.
So they are basically known for going on first in missions, and with a 63, you know that they had a bid on the contract you picked up for. Yeah, so they're kind of pissed.
Well, that's just unsporting.
It's a pretty common tactic. You read on their...
Could have at least come and talked to me first.
Well, you read on their forms that they are calling governmental bullshit because you just got off that job for the government on Armpit.
Oh
They're
God.
they're calling governmental interference and giving preference because you also find out Proactionary is known for trying to find loopholes in their contracts to get around non-disclosure agreements.
Thanks,
Uh,
Space Obama.
so like if they aren't, well, that's just a common extropian thing. Like if it's not in the contract, then they don't have to. So then they try and so
I
basically,
was talking more about the government blaming there.
yeah, Space Obama. But yeah, they are notorious for you know trying to get around non-disclosure agreements, which makes them not super great for government jobs. So they were already not getting what they felt like that they're legitimately
So
good
they
at.
lost at something they have a disadvantage at, and now they're throwing a hissy fit.
Yeah, kind of.
Cool guys.
Welcome to space libertarians and anarcho-capitalists. That's what they are. They're fucking idiots. Sorry, anyone who listens to this and is a fucking idiot.
Also, we might apologize to libertarians too, but
No,
not right now.
no, I was also including them in the fucking idiot category.
Well, I might have been implying that libertarians are worse than idiots, but
I can't think of many things worse than libertarians besides Hitler. So yeah,
so
yeah, your team needs to go off and do this first aid mission. Like they have
yes,
some
they
free
do.
time, but you need to get a clamp on this shit before it gets
It's a
worse.
pity I didn't give. What's Rogue's character's name?
Adrian, Padmore.
Adrian. I was thinking Adrian or Andre for some reason, but it's a shame I didn't give Adrian my new sat in a can. But oh well.
Yeah, you feel like they might have been able to use that.
Just a little bit.
You don't know why, but so yeah, they basically go off on their own little side quests, and then they go gate crashing. But as like the face of the new North Wales Survey Corporation, you need to be on this shit.
Yes, I do.
So
teach these fuckers who's boss.
you can try and talk to their CEO, Miles Gregor.
All right. What
Because-
channels do I need to get into to actually get a conversation going with him?
Networking Gatecrasher, networking Hypercore, networking Autonomous.
Let's try Hypercore first. Whoa! Exact same role. Awesome.
Nice. Okay, yeah. So basically, how do you approach him? You get his personal mesh email. What do you send him? Like meet in real space, meet in symbol space, meet in
Let's meet in real space. We
Alright.
need to talk about your reaction to the last contract on Armpit.
All right. He says, name a place, and I'll arrange something.
All right, just out of character. We're somewhere kind of public.
There's the bar, the gate
Okay.
crashing bar, the Gargan's Rest.
All right, let's do there then.
All right. So he is waiting there for you. He's dressed in like a suit and tie, and he just screams Hypercorp. This like hyper capitalist immortal
I was about to
oligarch.
say, not really blended in there, buddy.
So he's just sitting there and he sees you and he says, you are Ethan Glencross, the CEO of the microcorp known as the New South Wales Survey Corporation.
New North Wales.
Yeah, it's whatever.
If you're gonna blackmail me, at least get my name right.
I'm not.
Christ.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Mr. Glencross. But I run a strictly extropian company, and I cannot control what my employees do. It's not in their contracts to not express their opinions about the competition, however they see fit.
Can
I'm
I do
sorry.
a quick networking hypercore roll? I just want to see how many employees he actually has.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
And we're good.
61
Cutting it really close.
Yeah.
I've got 65 as my skill, just by the way.
He's got a lot. Like, he's not a microcore like you.
Yeah.
He's he's got.
But is it enough to do like this much? And was that operation big enough to actually?
Oh yeah, no, he's got stuff stationed not just on Pandora but also Mars, the Fissure Gate. He's even got Mercury Gate and the Gonin Gate, which is basically controlled by ultimates and really hard to get into if you're not an ultimate. So his corporation is pretty big. You can guess that he has hired a dedicated.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, that's not an uncommon tactic for extropians to employ.
Yeah, basically hired a PR firm to.
Oh, not just that. It goes beyond that. They literally are just like professional trolls. They leave bad reviews. And that's not illegal in the Autonomous Alliance, in the outer system. He probably couldn't get away with that in the inner system, but you're not in the inner system. Now, if your physical person was, because the company is associated with you,
yep,
you would take him to court. But you're not in the inner system. If you're pretty sure it would be
true.
Well, I mean, yeah. So,
I feel as though we've got friends in the government now, but
yeah, you do. But their hands are kind of tied. Like, what do you want? Like, tell them to knock it off. We can't really do that.
Okay.
I mean, you don't have that much pull.
Fair enough.
They're going to ignore it, but like independent contractors are going to look at your rep scores before they.
Yeah. Okay.
Contact you about a job. So.
All right. So, what would be the best way to approach this then?
Well,
kind of got it. Okay.
I can give you some ideas if you want.
Yeah, give me ideas.
You don't need a role, so it's just you could hire someone to do the same to him, like fair game. Turnabout's fair game.
True.
You would need to find someone who's pretty good, and it would cost you a little bit of rep, not like every session, but maybe every other session or something. I'd figure it out, but they'd be an employee.
Okay.
So you'd have to act. Or if you really, 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 really want to stick it to him, you make an alpha fork of yourself, invest the company in it, and then you have it sleeved into the inner system. You can go that could get a little sticky, but since it was created in Titan, it would be recognized as you, and it would have equal rights to you.
Yeah, that's the thing. Just role-playing wise, Ethan isn't comfortable with more than one of him walking around.
Yeah, so that would be the extreme way to do it.
Let's not do that.
You could kill him. You could hire someone to kill him. That would get the message
across.
That
also seems a little extreme.
Pretty well. I mean, death is like what? He has to buy a new body. Or you could buy him out. He's currently valued. His company is currently valued at 100 rep.
Okay. Wow. We'd have to wait a couple of sessions, but we could actually do that.
Yes. You don't have that 40 rep you earned yet, so because they're still doing the mission.
Yeah, they're still doing it, but we're pretty close. Jeez.
If you buy him out, you would probably just get his like Pandora operation because they're fucking extropians. They'll just cut their losses in.
All right. Well, I'm gonna actually start out by asking him what he thinks he's getting out of this. Because this, in my personal opinion, and I'm just a humble man from the Martian outback, but this seems like, you're being a little spiteful.
You're not extropian, so I suppose you wouldn't understand, but no, this is how business is done. In a free market, you are free to choose anyone you want, and you're free to take any tactics you would like. So he's going to spew off libertarian bullshit.
And a smart businessman would realize that, making a bunch of enemies on a contract they probably weren't going to, you weren't going to win anyways, might not be a good idea.
A bunch of enemies? I own a system-wide gate-crashing corporation. You are 3 people. And I think I can afford the enemies, sir.
This is true, but I don't think you realize just how much our operations are drawing in here.
Oh, yeah? Or do you...
I mean, I'm not going to lie. The last operation got me almost 1/3 of your company's worth. That was one op. And my other employees are going on other operations as we speak.
And
do you really want to make an enemy out of me?
And my employees are going on operations as we speak. I've got unfortunate news. I think that you are being fairly favored by the Titanian government just because you happen to buckle down and not try and exploit their rather weak non-disclosure agreements about what they can and cannot disclose. I'm sorry if you're the lapdog of a government, but that is not how extropians work, and that is not how I, as a man from Extropia, will do it, and my company won't do it, and I will not. So he's just gonna start fucking.
All right, I'm gonna make an intimidation roll on him, and I am going to pass it.
All right, he gets a resist. What did I just roll? Where did?
86.
He's gonna spend a moxie to flip that.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
You bastard. I'll spend a moxie to make my success a critical then.
Well, la-di-da. Okay, what were you hoping to get out of intimidating him?
I just want him to first of all realize that he's not on Extropia, so his philosophy is kind of invalid here.
Oh,
and second of all, realize that, starting a fight here might not be in his business best interest. He wants to go somewhere else with that, he can, but...
Okay, he will shut up, but he's not going to back down about that just because you intimidated him once. He's kind of like, I see we have nothing to discuss then. You can't be persuaded to see my side, and quite frankly, I wouldn't want you to. You're a man from Mars, and hypercapitalism is on the way out, sir. Extropian free markets are what's on the way in, and I'm sorry that you can't see that. And I have told you that I cannot control my employees. They are free to say whatever they want. If they think that you are some sort of a lapdog for the government who is being used to control the flow of free trade and ideas, I can't stop them from saying that. Nor would I want to. I would never limit their freedom of speech. Can. The implication that you are making, we have nothing to discuss. He stands up, puts on his smart fabric hat. He says, good day, sir. And he starts walking away.
It's a fedora, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a fedora.
God damn it. All right.
He starts walking away.
What was that?
He starts walking away.
Where to go with this, then?
I
suppose we're going to have to start, investing some rep in messing up his company, then.
Okay. You can give me a networking... Depending on what you roll for networking, depends on who you get. Or there is one person that you know that you recently helped that might be interested in helping you.
Okay.
That robot dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was the network administrator for...
The dude with three brains. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. He has actually been trying to get a hold of you, so...
Oh, all right.
You can talk to him, and you can also make networking rolls for that you decide that you want to know all your options.
So let's start with, standard hypercorp. Nope. Hypercores aren't coming through for me. That's sad. Let's see. I guess Gatecrashers would be next, wouldn't it?
Yep.
And this one doesn't have the other thing on the character sheet. That's kind of dumb. Hold on. I gotta actually look up my skill in it. Networking, and alright, it is a 50. Well, fuck you too.
Well, you can re-roll them after you meet with the guy.
Yeah, let's go ahead and...
Yeah, you don't find any backups right now, but you know. Alright, so his name is Smile. Well, its name. It doesn't really have a gender. You can do a research roll.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah, about research is the only thing you could do. It's not really super into gate crashing.
Fingers crossed. Damn it. I'm gonna spend a moxie to flip that, actually.
Okay.
Success.
So, Smile is a privacy freak. No one's quite sure if it's transhuman, uplift, or AGI, but it's constantly wearing a privacy shroud with an invisibility cloak over it, so that at any time it could literally just block out all signals.
Seems a little excessive, yeah.
Yeah, it's a It's a privacy freak. It's said to be a brinker from an exotic cult that values privacy over everything. It also has a weird policy about forking and egos. It believes every single fork it makes is a slave to it. And will actually,
Whoa.
but it believes that everyone has a right to figure out what they want for their own fork. So it's not into fork napping. It's just into like forks are the thing for the person who's fork. Like it's into ego integrity basically, and part of that is respect my decisions for my ego, even if you don't agree with them. Does that make sense?
Okay, that makes sense, but I just want to remind you that Ethan's position is, first of all, making copies of your own ego while, your original one's still alive is a little weird. Turning them into slaves is very, very weird.
It argues that it would do this. Its egos would do the same thing if they had a chance. So, so yeah, that's its position.
That's true. I'm not gonna try and stop him. He is, enslaving himself.
Yeah, which there is a specific type of thing you can sleeve infomorphs into in transhuman called the slave Edilian or something like that, which is like a morph for infomorphs, if you want it even more common. So, and then he uses them for all sorts of things, and slaves actually have a built-in like termination code where they just auto-delete if he sends them the message, and they're really hard to hack. So basically his whole shtick is he'll sleeve slave copies of himself into cyber brains attached to his body from parallel processors and neural processors on them to make them even more smart and link up with him to make him even more smart so that he's better at hacking. And he also, does some things with like skin link on bullets so that he'll shoot shit to hack shit. So yeah, he's all about hacking and doing it from a distance and being safe. And he has wanted to talk to you for a bit. Well, it has wanted to talk to you for a while.
Okay.
So yeah.
Oh, what does he want? To talk about?
It sends you a link to a symbol space.
Okay. Yeah.
It would rather
big surprise. Right. No, that's fine.
So it is just like a amorphous black shadow of a silhouette of a person. Like it's hard to tell female, male, neither is. And it goes, "Hello, I am named Smile because no one can see my face and they thought it was a funny joke. He said that I must have an ugly smile. That is the name I've chosen. Would you care for any symbol space food? You!" And he like his arm ripples and
at himself.
Well, his arm ripples and a copy of himself comes out. He says, "Beta, go retrieve symbol space food for our guest, Mr. Glencross." Yes, okay, yes. There's like adoration in his face.
It's interesting.
Yes, I'm sorry. I did not mean to disturb you.
It's fine. Everything going okay since we picked you up on Armpit?
Yes. You did not pick me up. That was a failed. I am a backup of the one you picked up on. Armpit, also known as Stinky. I thank you for that. Obviously, that one was insane. I have reintegrated with it and the other two alpha forks after much neural pruning. It is what I would have done to myself had I not been insane. It is. You seem skeptical.
I'm not skeptical. Just this is gonna take a little bit of getting used to.
Yes, that is what people say. Please let me introduce you to my two alphas. And they step out from behind him, and they just look like where Smile does not have any like facial expression. They just have like emojis, like you know how a text smiley face, it's like that.
Yeah.
And they just are staring at him adoringly, and they're like, "Oh yes, we're so happy." And then the beta comes back. It's like, "I programmed some food," and he's like, "Excellent. You may now reintegrate." And the beta just starts going, "Oh, thank you." So if you want to roll like programming or some sort of skill to see what's like up with these slaves, you definitely can. Kinesics would work.
Yeah, kinesics is probably going to be a bit better. Let me look at my programming. Skill first would be like what?
I know your
Should just be
muse.
programming. I don't have
Yeah,
a lot in that.
your muse might have it at like 30 or 40, I think.
Yeah. Okay.
So you can also roll kinesics, and your muse can be like, oh, okay.
Yeah, let's do that. Hold on. Gotta actually get the dice roller open again. All right. Muse first.
All right.
Muse succeeds, and I fail. Wow.
Okay. Your muse.
Shameful.
Looks like there's some. Your muse is now a kangaroo. Barry's a kangaroo. And he's hopping mad. Says, oh, it looks like they've got modified behavior to want to reintegrate at all costs. So basically, one of their motivations is reintegrate at all costs for every single fork.
That's interesting.
So yeah, he's literally making it so that they want to. Yeah. Not a lot of people like working with this guy.
Yeah, I can understand why.
But to be fair, he practices what he preaches, and he does not, if he finds out someone traffics in egos, he's the first to crack down on them. So, yeah, he balances the line between being like a creep and someone who actually, agrees to do what he does. So yeah, so I am thankful for you helping me to reintegrate. I noticed that you do not have at rep. That is fine. Your X rep goes up by 2 as he rates you favorably.
Okay. Let me actually mess around with that then.
You can apply that to your company. Actually, your company gets 2 rep too, as he leaves a nice thing about your company.
Cool.
Yes.
All right.
I see that you also wanted to contact me.
Yeah, I'm having a bit of an issue with an extropian company.
Oh, I see.
That seems to be a little bit upset that we got that contract that we found your former ego on.
And
I was wondering if you could help with us with that.
And they appear to also be mad you got the first in mission. Yes, I can. Though technically what I would do would not be called legal.
Oh dear.
As it would involve many copies of myself running in parallel. We would require some server space. And we would like to get some legal protection from your company.
I think we can make that work.
Titan is not the most inclusive environment for us. Titan actually has laws that say if an alpha fork is created, they are their own person. So those 2 alpha forks he's running are illegal.
Oh dear.
Yeah. And what he did with the alpha forks he got was illegal. Yes, we would like. I would like these alpha forks do not care. Yes, we don't care at all. We would like to be hired by your company, and that would give us some legal protection as you are your own company. So where you are, laws can be a little bit different.
All right, I'll sign you on, but.
All right, and we would need server space, and I assure you. We would also need some specialized equipment to make the most use of our skill set. It's really a question of how far do you want to go. What do you want from us?
I want them to stop harassing us.
Yes, I see. And how far are you willing to go to achieve that? Do you want them ruined? I assure you that their rep can be manipulated.
You know what? It wouldn't be the worst thing. Honestly, I'm thinking about maybe buying them out at some point, but...
Well, then here's what I can do. If you give me the server space and a load of... if you actually get me 1 copy of a software program known as Panopticon, and some copies of mental speed, something like that. One of those things that make you work faster. If you give me a copy of that software and a copy of Panopticon and the server space, I can make numerous copies of myself and have them target attacks on Their rep networks. We would also need time to create false IDs that can be burned. This is all highly illegal as it's manipulative of the rep market. We could also leave good review. We could also leave good reviews for you. I see that you are not in favor with the autonomous. We could fix that. I could fix that. Again, the more we do, the higher chance it reflects onto you.
This is true.
We can also hack their networks. And honestly, with enough server space, we can manipulate their rep on such a large level that
just crush them.
Yeah.
Jeez.
But that's how much server space are you willing to get?
Well, you don't need to go that far. Like I said, I was considering buying them out. They do have at least one useful contact for me, and the costs for this financially aren't that bad now that I'm looking at it.
Well, we can just straight up. I can just straight up counter him by every bad review he leaves. I leave a good one.
Leave a good one.
I'm sure that would not bring a whole lot of
suspicion.
Because obviously you would hire someone to help maintain your rep.
Yeah.
That would be very simple.
Okay.
If you want
just go ahead and keep my rep stable right now.
All right. We would need server space. It's probably going to cost you.
Okay.
We'll need to rent server space on Titan or Pandora. That will not cost a lot, but the software I require.
Yep.
Is what's going to be an issue. Server space, not that bad. 5 rep.
Okay.
The stuff you actually need, it's quite illegal.
Really?
On Titan, yeah. Panopticon is illegal because it lets you literally observe. The other stuff's not that bad.
Yeah, the mental speed.
Mental speed, not too bad. You could probably find a copy with that if you do some networking, but Panopticon's pretty illegal because you can just copy it over and over a bunch of times, and it lets you observe shit a lot, not just cameras, but like lots of shit. It lets you watch over.
Let's see. Let me actually look at the description for this. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, yeah.
Yes. So it's a question of how efficient you want it to be. Of course, if you could also get neural processors and parallel processors, we'd be able to work much better. But you would then have to buy out your own warehouse space for those custom servers, and if that's something you want to do down the line, I would certainly be able to help you with that. So yeah, if you want to go on grand scale rep fraud, or just have a department of one for your.
I don't think we need to go quite that far. I do still want to stay in Titan's good graces until we can basically get our own gate.
Yes, okay, that is fine.
And the government does view me favorably, even if the population doesn't.
Well then, 5 rep for the server space.
Okay.
Not that bad of a deal, but
what
your
rep is this? X?
Yeah, you can go X or you can go out of your company.
Let's go ahead and take it out of the company for now.
All right. Yeah, if it's tied with the company, it's less likely to be traced directly back to you. Because you can say, oh no, someone hacked my rep network, hacked the company, whoopsie daisies. Anyways, yeah, getting the Panopticon is going to be the issue. So.
Yep.
You can try and legally buy it from a system where it's not illegal.
Yeah, and then have it basically smuggled in.
Do you have any networking criminals?
I have some rep, but my networking for criminals is not that high. I mean, I've got it, but I don't think I'll pass.
You can try.
Let's give it a shot.
That'll be the most direct.
Fingers crossed. No.
What's your networking with criminals?
Networking with criminals is 35.
Okay. Yeah, so if you want to buy it legally, that's networking hypercore.
Okay. Hypercores. I've got, yeah. Could have used that earlier.
Yeah. You can get it from a software manufacturer from InterSystem.
Okay.
How much does it cost on the
I think it's high, so 5K.
Alright, let me look up my rep rolls where I have that shit written down.
Yeah, I forget how much rep it is for.
It's high. Okay, so that's a level 4.
Okay. Level 4 is how much rep? It's like what? 15, I think.
Yeah, it's like 10 actually.
Oh, 10? Okay,
yeah.
That's not that bad then.
All right, so okay. Well, we will set this up and we will secure your rep. We'll just play the defensive. Yes.
Yeah.
All right, we can do that. We can definitely do that. That's very simple. So yeah, it's stabilized for now, but you see that Proactionary has actually taken the Solomon contract, so their rep might increase.
Oh boy.
So you can try and sabotage their mission if you want by giving them faulty goods.
What roles?
Depends on what you want to approach. Like
I think some bad information would be good.
Yeah, okay. So that might be gate crashing, networking gate crasher. If you want to give them bad equipment, that might be hypercorps or criminal.
Well, let's do both those things. See what happens. I'm going to roll the gate crashing one first, and that's very much a success.
All right.
And the hypercore one is also a success.
All right. I'm going to roll.
Blah blah.
I'm going to roll their information department. Okay. The hypercorp stuff it doesn't get past them. That you basically what you're doing is you're like, I'll recommend them. I'll get a fake ID. I'll recommend them a shitty hypercorp to get their equipment from, and but they see through that. But the gate crashing stuff is you tell a friend of a friend of a friend. So yeah, they might have a harder time because they don't have all the information about Solomon. So yeah. Okay, so there's that. You hope that they, make a loss on it, but I will roll some dice later to see if they do. Keep it truly random.
Oh boy.
So yeah, you just finished that up. You're like, oh man, I might be able to get in on this first mission. When you get a message from those people who gave you the original rep to start your company. Yeah. It's from
what does it say?
It says. Actually, I have it somewhere. Give me a second. I created a whole page on the website thing that I'm doing where it just has contracts. So I can just read the description. It is from someone named Hugh Ma. Mr. Glencross, we're interested in hiring your company for gate crashing work surveying an exoplanet that has recently come into our possession. Meaning they have all claims to it, if that's not clear. They own the planet. We'd be willing to pay you and your people 10 extra up front just to hear us out, along with any of the standard rep rewards once the job is finished. Please contact us with a response as soon as possible at the@darkcast.mesh.
Okay.
They're willing to pay you for the job.
Yeah, dang. That's a pretty interesting offer.
So yeah, if you want to contact Hugh Ma.
Let's do it.
All right. So, what do you say in your message? Just yeah, I'm interested.
Yeah, I'd like a little more information on this, but.
Excellent.
I'm very interested in the offer, at least.
Would you like to meet in person, or do you do simulspace? I'm never sure with people.
Your choice. If you're on planet, I'd prefer to meet in person, but.
Well, you are in luck. I have a beta fork on Pandora. To conduct business for our company, which is if you want to do a research roll, you can see what our company is.
I think I've already got an idea where this is. Let's do research. Roll low. Thank God. Yes, we're good.
Right. Well, what was your idea? Because it might be better than my idea.
No. I've just noticed that you mentioned the I, and it's like, oh shit.
Yeah. So yeah, it is X Risk Consulting. X spelled like Hexo. So they do consulting for risky planets. They basically they don't survey. They kind of go to planets or send a team to a planet to determine its risk and value for people who want to sell it. There's a surveying component to that, but there's also is the air breathable? What hidden threats are there?
Like that.
So it's partly what you do, a little bit more. Is there a colony on this planet? Okay, then the price goes up. So they basically buy and sell exoplanets that, you know. So yeah, that's what they do.
Okay.
So she says, I have a beta. We maintain. I maintain a beta fork on planets and systems with gates to be connected to them, and then I report back to myself, obviously. So if you would like to meet, there's a bar that we can go to if you would like.
All right.
So it is. She sends you mesh directions, like follow your entropics to this bar. It is the Promethean bar. Sorry, no, Prometheus's bar. And it's just like the holographic interface when you see it is like a guy taking fire and bringing it down from a mountain. So yeah, she's waiting in there. She says, "Hello, I'm Huma. I'm sorry, specifically I'm the beta fork of Huma. We spoke briefly over the mesh."
Yes, we did. Interested on the information you've got.
You immediately get 10x rep. You personally, you can put it in the company or you can keep it yourself.
I'll keep it for myself for now, but I might. Oops. Forgot I shouldn't be doing it like that. There we go. Okay.
I'm sending these guys a thing. Okay. So yeah, you see that your employees have also been credited, even though they're not here. Once they get back, they'll get that rep. She says, "So I'm very glad that you're just here even to listen. It's quite an interesting planet you've acquired. We don't really have a name for it. We're calling it right now. We're calling it. I had a name. Let me look for it. We're calling it Bryn's World. After the discovery by a person named Bryn. Obviously, it's a name followed by world or planet is quite common. So we haven't actually registered it with any of the authorities yet.
I was going to give Artemis shit about naming the planet Ephesus, but now I feel like I should praise her creativity.
So yes, it's we're calling it Bryn's World right now, though. Obviously, we don't really have a solid name. We haven't talked it in with any official organization. It's just that we feel that maybe we could get a better name. Some other names thrown around are Frontier, but whatever. It's basically we're interested in you. It's actually a two-part mission. The first part would be actually scouting the world. There's these pylons that we would like you to check and see. And you have a xenobiologist, correct?
Yep.
We're somewhat interested in seeing if she can find any life signs on the planet proper. And then the second phase would be you actually going into the space around the planet.
That's interesting.
Yes, yes. That's where we're really excited to see what the value of the planet is, there is I can only describe it as a dense layer of space industrial. It's quite amazing. Space industrial works that have fallen to the world. Some have fallen to Bryn's world, but some of them have not. So we're interested in you surveying that.
Yeah, that is interesting.
And I mean, there's a non-disclosure agreement that would go along with this, but we actually have a in-house network where you could publish some findings if you're willing to sign on with us. We call them as a preferred corporation. So sometimes people within the network will contact you, and you'll get an in-house rep. The network itself, you probably haven't heard of it. It's very small. We just use it ourselves. It's called the Eye.
Yeah, I've had it mentioned to me once on a job I did in Mars, but
interesting.
Seems pretty not used that often.
Yeah, your team. Yes, it's mostly done with in-house. Your team would have to sign on with us, of course.
Okay. I
So
imagine one might have a slight problem with that, but if you let her release her papers, I
yes,
think she'll
in
be
house,
okay.
but they would be
Yeah,
released
yeah.
in house for IREP, obviously. You would be could be stated as preferred contractors.
Okay. That Let's talk about potential hazards before I actually sign on. How much do you know about this? You said that there were some structures orbiting the planet.
Ah,
That's
yes,
fascinating, first of
there's
all.
industrial structures orbiting the planet, and there are numerous pylons on the planet itself. Britain's world is mostly desert, breathable atmosphere.
Okay.
It's quite large from what we can tell. We the first in team we sent, uh, they just reported that it was an interesting find. Honestly, we didn't send the first in team in. We just bought the contract for the planet. They thought it was a oddity, and she's reading from like a paper. They described it as an oddity, but the tech was below transhuman standards, as to be worthless on the market, besides as a curiosity for rich oligarchs, which I'm told there's no market in.
Huh. Okay.
You would have to. That's all I have. I don't know the stat. I'm a beta fork. Don't have I don't have very much
I'm
information.
sorry to hear that.
I'm not. I don't have all the details of the planet. I'm very sorry. For security reasons.
That's fine. Any danger reports from the first in team? I mean,
No,
that's what I'm concerned about. I would not like to.
they haven't penetrated. They did not go to the industrial structures.
Okay.
So I
Yeah.
can't report that. But the planet itself seems fairly safe.
Okay. Well then, yeah, I'll need some approval from my team before I officially sign on, but this is looking pretty good.
Excellent. I'm glad that we can continue to do business even after you have already started your own company.
Yep.
I assure you that there will only be good things between X Risk and the New North Wales Survey Corporation.
Glad to hear it.
And as I said, if you do sign on as preferred, which you would have to,
Yeah.
If you do sign on, there might be requests from others.
Okay.
Which, I'm sure you don't need to be told that it's always valuable to have connections anywhere. And we also have, you can also make use of the connections that the eye would have.
Well, that could be interesting. Like I said, care to tell me just a little bit more about the eye? I mean, what sort of company's contract with it? I mean, obviously, survey corps do, but
I can't really tell you much about it until you signed the non-disclosure agreement.
Fair enough. I'll ask again once it's signed then.
And you've gone through the orientation, which is quite simple.
Oh boy. Okay, fair enough.
So yes.
All right.
I'm glad to hear that we are working. I look forward to perhaps working together again someday.
Yep. And just to be clear, Ethan's not going to sign anything right now, but once I get this done.
No, you are a good CEO. You have your employees.
I'm not going to screw over my employees.
Yeah, because I know you know who these people are because you told me.
Yeah.
So, Rogue was trying to guess. He did not guess. So yeah, if you don't want these people involved, you can just tell them to fuck off and they'll fuck off.
Fair enough. I'm just as a player and I guess in character as well. I'm kind of interested to see what horrors await on in the orbit of that particular planet. But like I said, we'll.
Wow, why would you think it would be horrible?
I don't know. Just call it intuition.
Wow. For shame. All right. So yeah, you've managed to answer your emails. You dealt with the mesh situation. By the way, you get a message from Miles, Gregor, the CEO, he says, "You son of a bitch. You're playing hardball now? What was all this about, integrity and all this bullshit? I see it. I see."
I'm just gonna reply with, "Hey, if you wanted a fight, you're gonna get a fight."
You're more extropian than you know.
Just saying, I wanted to cooperate at first, but no, I can't stop my employees.
Yeah. So yeah, he is somewhat mad.
Tragic.
Yeah. You basically have been working on this for a couple days. Smile gets back to you, says the server space is excellent. Thank you for the software. If you ever need more done, we will discuss my costs. But for now, right. I'm happy to lowball it. Says I do not have much in the way of rep. I have a bit of X rep. Mostly I have rep with an obscure network you've probably never heard of.
Can I just reply back with that with try me?
It's known as the Eye.
What a coincidence! I just contracted with some people from the Eye.
Interesting. Have you signed the non-disclosure agreement yet?
Not yet. I'm still waiting for basically some of my employees to look over, see if we actually want to go through with it. But
I will say I've worked with the Eye and within the network for quite some time, for 5 years, as a matter of fact, and I have never been displeased with the work they've had me do. I find it extremely fulfilling.
That's so.
Extremely fulfilling.
Oh God.
Extremely.
I know there. You've got 3 alphas in that morph, but saying it more than once is a little weird.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sometimes I don't realize what I'm saying. Yes, it would be interesting to work more directly with the BI.
All right, so just out of character, is that contract basically going to be really high priority?
No, they will let you take it when you need it. So yeah, what contracts did you want to buy besides that?
Would you mind going over them again? Because I
sure.
remember the names, but I don't remember quite what they were about.
Yeah, let me pull up I will also link you the thing that I will keep updated.
Oh, cool.
So I'm only going to have 3 at any time, but there was the gate crashing job, which was the one you picked up.
Survey. I am glad that address was available.
So yeah, there's the Eden Ventures, which is Eden Ventures needs a surveying team to assess the value of the exoplanet Zion, rewards for any valuable resources, alien artifacts, or anomalies found, intellectual property rights guaranteed to any great gate crashers that take the contract. That means you'll be able to write papers.
Yeah.
Like give interviews and sell up XP. Contact us at Eden Ventures.
Experimental.
Experimental gate crashing tech. 15 rep costs. Gatekeepers looking for gate crashers interested in trying out some experimental gate crashing technology recently developed by its research and development branch. Must be willing to be sleeved into specialized biomorphs and sign non-disclosure agreements. If interested, please message Jan Jarlson at gatekeeperjj@titan.net.
That's an interesting web address.
Yes.
Oh, it's Titan the Moon. Okay.
Yeah.
That makes me feel a little bit better.
So yeah, you can pick up the rough way that they'd want you to go is Gatekeeper would probably want priority over Eden Ventures. Eden Ventures they realize that they are offering a pretty shitty job. If you want to I already know that you know some stuff about Eden Ventures, so they kind of the way they work is they claim land by creating temporary colonial companies with backers to claim land on exoplanets before they even are surveyed. So they set up temporary colonial companies, and then they will send in survey teams. And the way that Eden Ventures contracts work is if anything valuable is found, And the colonial company does not, like, the colonists don't agree that it all should go to Eden Ventures, or they don't agree to, like, have it worked or whatever. They get kicked off the colony.
Yeah.
So that's not, it's not great what they do, and that's why it's so low, and they kind of also know that's why they offer, like, it at such a low rep cost, and they offer incentives like intellectual property rights. And so, yeah, they won't argue, but they would probably want you to do it, like, in the order of things. It would be Gatekeeper, Eden Ventures, Gate Crashing Job. So if you wanna clear up all the contracts.
Yeah, we need to do the experimental one first.
You can probably get away with doing it second if you want to take an easy job, which would be the Eden Ventures, because you have been pretty good to Gatekeeper so far.
Okay. Well, all right. We'll discuss it with the team once.
Yeah, but if you want to buy those.
But yeah, let's go ahead and at least put some in the Eden Ventures one.
All right. Yeah, you buy it for 5 rep.
Yeah, for now.
So
since
that would be considered a fairly easy one, even if it's kind of scummy.
Yep.
You would hope it would be easy.
Oh God. You're gonna run into another colony of vampire crabs.
No, they weren't vampires. They were psychic. So yeah, okay. So yeah, you can talk about experimental gate crashing tech. I have everything. I have all 3 of these written up. So.
Oh wow.
Yeah, the way I do it is I just write like 3 pages.
Okay.
And then just let things happen from there. So
yeah.
I figured since it was going to probably be more episodic, it might be.
Yeah.
Because you're just. Anyways. Yeah, that's it. So you can discuss that with the team, but ultimately it's your decision because you're the boss, and they have not.
I am the boss.
They have not invested anything in the company, so.
This is also true.
So you can literally. So you can spend how much you want. You can do the Eden Ventures one, and then like.
Yeah, I think we should do that. We should just go ahead and do that one first. It's kind of a crappy job, but.
The experimental gate tech thing, probably not going to get eaten up real quick. Your biggest competitor is Proactionary. They kind of fill the same niche as you, and they're currently on a job in Solomon. So.
Yep.
They won't be around, so like you can
a job that just got a little bit more difficult.
Yeah, they won't be around to scoop up Eden Ventures because they don't know what their rep is going to be like afterwards, or not Eden Ventures, the Gatecraft. They also don't like Gatekeeper, so it's like more for
Shocker.
Them. They have to pay 20, whereas you pay 15.
Okay.
So they won't scoop it up immediately, so you can sit on it until the end of next session to see where your rep is. So. Okay,
yeah, that would be good.
And you already
I think we should be good enough to afford a 15 rep thing when we get back, provided, no more bullshit from rival corporations, but yeah.
Yeah, there will be more bullshit from them. They're just
It'd have to be a lot of bullshit, though. That's
I
have to basically get rid of all my rep for me not to be able to afford that.
Okay, I'm thinking if there's anything else that needs to be done. No, I don't think so. I'll probably attach this to the start of next session.
Okay. That'd be good. We
as a very
still on for Sunday, or
we should be.
Okay.
I don't know if Rope will be there. I assume he will be. He said that he probably will, but
yeah.
I mean, I'm not going anywhere. Oh man, I should turn this off before I get